back again, and so we got 1 Thessalonians 5:3. We're going to get 4. But ye brethren are not in darkness, so it's exclusively for the brothers. Ye brethren, all right, and then the 1/3, the few sisters and women that will be saved for the elect and for the procreation of the Lord's righteous generation, all right. But so this is an exclusive thing. Ye brethren, this gospel in the New Testament is exclusively for the elect, and the 1/3 that would, in the end times like we are in today, be able to look back at these scriptures and understand it the correct way, in unison. It's not an individual interpretation. It's a organized, sincere and genuine, spiritual government. The Lord's reviving, all right. And we all believe in Him, and we want to believe that we'll believe until death, but only the elect will do that. And I pray that my brothers are those individuals, and I pray that the Lord gives us all strength to do that, all right, because that's what it's going to come down to here soon. I'm gonna start making some more videos on the elect and the persecution of the church, all right, because so-called Negroes are the real Jews, all right, the real Southern Kingdom, all right, and then the Northern Kingdom is made up of so-called Native Americans and so-called Hispanics. This makes up the entire nation of Israel, or Yasharallah in the Paleo Hebrew. All right, and this is who the Most High is dealing with in terms of ethnic nationality, and that's a base level understanding, because if you know the scriptures, the Most High has spread all of us out around the world because of our disobedience to the covenant, and we've taken different nationalities, women, to be our wives, all right, in our own confusion and destruction. And not knowing that that would basically alter the appearance of our seed lines, and then now you have some of us, looking like I do, which would be like 2 generations of, my forefathers' land with the same type of different women, which would be so-called Caucasian. All right, so here it is. The Most High has even developed a spiritual, like a spiritual founding to this, and if you can't get it, man, you just can't get it. That I could be an individual that would be complected like a so-called Edomite, but spiritually I'm a Hebrew Israelite, and then teaching the same in alignment like the Lord would, said would happen. We'd come back and be in alignment with the true understanding, and that's been given to us through the other apostles of Great Millstone. All right. So, but ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. So it's not overtaking us, because we know, we've been told that this was going to go down, that the markets were going to crash, all right, that Esau was going to do everything he could to find a way to come up with some shit to cover it up, all right, or that, and basically that Jacob's trouble's on the horizon. The bigger picture here, because people are still focused on this disease, or this virus, when they don't realize that there's going to be multiple viruses out here. There's going to be some shit that the government lets out when it really pops off, like overnight, that you're going to see some shit, like maybe you might see some Walking Dead type shit, all right, or even worse in terms of chemical weapons, where you see people's skin melting off their bodies and they look like plastic soldiers in a fire. Esau's got all this shit. These world governments, their militaries, they have it all, and they have it all ready to go for use against one another, and then use where a lot of people did not realize that it's going to be used domestically, man. A lot of these weapons that these countries have developed will be used on their own people. I promise you, it will happen. And the Most High warned us of this. So Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and then anybody that really, like I was getting at, believes in the spirit and power in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, exclusively Al Shadim Yahweh Shem Yahushai, all right. Yahushai being who the world calls ignorantly Jesus Christ, and Yahweh being the highest, Al Shadim. All right. We are in the know. All right, and so you'll have an opportunity to overcome this and not let this overtake you as a thief if you are sincere and true in your belief and you have faith in the Lord. all right, which only the elect and 1/3 will have, which is a very small number of people in the world. It is not made out to be what the churches try and depict, which is a salvation for all, where it doesn't say anything about that in the Bible. If you know the Bible, it's a book of nationality, and it's exclusively only for the Lord's people. And then people like to use the New Testament, and then the fact that they translated it from the Greek and the Latin into New Speak English today, which is a very clever and tricky thing for these Edomites to do. But they planned it out with their Bible destruction group by ripping out the Apocrypha. All right, they took out eight books from the scriptures completely and said that they're not a part of the book, even though they line up perfectly and they tell you all kinds of stuff that you need to know about the world today, and then these Edomites and who's running the world today, and then also what happened to the Lord's people. And it also tells you a lot about the Northern Kingdom and how they got to the North American continent, guided by the angels of the Most High by way of sea, after we fled from our conjoined country. You know, it would have been the nation, or the state, or the country of Israel, or our nation of Israel, but we were receiving massive persecution, just like we are today, by the world governments. All right, at that time it was the Roman government. All right, Southern Kingdom fled into Africa and set up shop on the west coast of West Africa. You know, at that point, brothers spread throughout all of Africa. Brothers spread out eastward into Asia, into China, into these other nations. You know what I'm saying? And so nowadays you got brothers that could be Russian and would never know. Or you have brothers that look like they're Chinese and you'd never know. That 8 generations removed, they look like that, but they truly have the essence and spirit of the Most High within them. And that's where the understanding of denominational churches confuse salvation for all. Even though once you understand the saved amount of people is only like 2% of the world population, according to the Bible, then you know that you have to do something, or there has to be some type of stipulation in that inheritance. All right, and that's exactly what the scriptures are, is a book of inheritance. You are all children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. All right, because in the world people are asleep and they're not aware of these truths and these answers to these mysteries about who the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans are, or about the deceit and deception, the rape, robbery, and murder of the governments and the power structure of white supremacy today. All right, like they've destroyed our people so far that we don't even think they're the enemy anymore. Can you perceive that? They've overbearingly oppressed our people to the point that they think that they are our friends, the enemy. Okay, and so you have to think back generationally how many hundreds of years that we'd had to be traumatically abused, in physical abuse, mental abuse, you know, for the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. And then now, you know, like I said, we think we're 3 separate people. You know, brothers think that, you know, Southern Kingdom thinks that they're just that, the Southern Kingdom. That's it. Or if they don't think that, they think they're just Negroes. Or they want to be black in America, you know. Which, that shit is overrated, man. And in the Northern Kingdom, you know, brothers, they got our brothers on, you know, reservations, man. And, you know, they still don't know that we're all a people. They think that they got their own thing going on their own land. And the same thing with the Hispanic brothers. They got some of them brothers have their own organized countries in the world today. But Esau knew by doing that they would never, you know, stop. I mean, as a whole, that's what you have to understand. The devil as a whole has misled the world to what it is today.